No, yeah, we're rolling.
We're on?
We're rolling.
We were talking about being a salesman. I've always been a salesman. My mom had a botanica when I was a kid in Brooklyn. I'm not gonna say the name. Flatbush Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say the exact location. Og Mandino wrote a book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. When I rhyme, when I MC, I was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago. I used to make my mom pull over. She always, for a lot of the holidays, bought me a radio. And my hustle in her botanica was like, I would sing for people, I would do impressions. I used to do Popeye. Well, blow me down. Oh, Popeye. Like my Alice a little bit. Or I used to do Archie Bunker. George Edith. And Edith Bunker when she got Lori is upstairs with Michael. I could do it a little better, but it's I'm your president. Don't worry, I'm gonna handle things. Since I was a kid, and would do that to buy myself TDK tapes and Memorex tapes. It's funny because I was watching the Wu-Tang history that they were talking about that, where Raekwon's character says to Meth, he's like, yo, you gonna drop your shit on Memorex tapes and blah 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 and this and that. Thank God. I'm saying all that to say I've always been a salesman. I've always been able to sell things, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I was telling you earlier, speak of things that are not as though they were, for they can become. Before I got hip to the law of attraction and all that other crazy shit, speak of a dude, I forgot his name, this beautiful brother that I work with at a place called Porta Vida, Villa Grand Club in Aventura. And he said to me, speak of things that are not as though they were, for they can become. He said it's in the Bible. I forgot his name. He had a real biblical name.
Is that like manifesting? Is that what they call
That's
that?
Exactly.
So you like kind of
It's stuck.
talk of stuff that you want to happen or should be?
Wait. Tell me your name again.
Sharif.
Sharif.
Aldo Jose.
All right.
Yo te tengo. I got you, bro.
Sweet Jesus. For
Sweet
what
Jesus.
They do.
Yeah, I got
Follow
you.
us. What they do. We're everywhere. No, Sharif. But what it was that I had, when my mom passed, a friend of mine that gave me one of the first books that I decided to read. My mom said, yo, I got these books, why don't you read them? Never read them. I'm gonna show you now why you should listen to your parents. And we don't, but they have blazed the trail for us. They're the trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
She told me, oh, no. I was like, yeah, whatever. When a friend of mine gave me the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, and it was one of the first books that opened me up to the eyes of the universe and what occurs when you decide to, charge your atoms to manifest things. Which is funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I was watching this movie earlier called 50 Pills, and at the end of it, they were trying to do a whole steady scene where the guy and the girl, and it's the girl from, damn, I can't remember the TV show. Was it on UPN? Anyway, no. They're standing together still. Everybody around them is moving in the party, but still their bodies are moving because we vibrate. Celestine Prophecy, one of the first books I read. Funky thing is, I started dating a girl, started going through my old books. My mom had the Bhagavad Gita. My mom also had Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. My mom had all these books. So I guess that energy comes to the room because for some reason, like, I've always been semi-rebellious against the ways of what our world is. Like, I would listen to Public Enemy and KRS, and I stopped. And teachers would say, "Why don't you hold your hand over your heart when we're doing the Pledge of Allegiance?" I said, "Listen, I'm an American. This is my country, but the things that Americans have done to us in our country is unfair. Like, I really can't hold that to my heart." And teachers, they used to tell my mom, like, "Your son's kind of," because I was just listening to hip hop.
Yeah, Public Enemy was very KRS One too.
Yeah. My top 5 is KRS, bruv. My top 5 is KRS. When I thought to listen to the teacher in the lesson, classes in session, so you can stop guessing if this is a hit or a written down memo. See, I am a professional. This is not a demo. In fact, call it a lecture, a visual picture, sort of a poetic and rhythm type mixture. Listen, I'm not dissing, but there's something that you're missing. Maybe you should touch reality. Stop wishing for beats with heavy bass, lyrics that in haste. If this meaning doesn't manifest, put it to rest. I am a poet. You try to show it, yet blow it. It takes concentration for fresh communication. Observation, that is deceit without speaking. Take off your coat, take notes. I am teaching a class, or rather school, because you need schooling. I am not a king or queen, I'm not ruling. This is an introduction to poetry, a small dedication to those that might know me, that might know you. It may be a gang, but one thing's for sure, neither one of y'all can hang, because yo, I'm not the arrow, but Scott is the crossbow. Say something, thought so. You seem to be the type that only understands the annihilation and destruction of the next man. That's not poetry, it's insanity. It's simply fantasy, far from reality. Poetry is a type of funky, dope creation. Poetry is a lyrical manifestation. Difficult, isn't it? The point, you're missing it. Your face is in front of my hand, so I'm dissing it.